never cry. Old enough to say no lullabies. Always living life in black and white. Find the vision from the colored lights. Spirited, but are you spiritual? Found new love for me, that's a miracle. Then I go make mistakes, that's pitiful. Then I go make mistakes, that's typical. Let me know, let me know. I will go, I will go. All I know. Visions of me in a row. Keep on working, I won't fall. Close case closed. Easy didn't wanna know. But you go was at my show. Give me nothing I know. When I got it for the love.
Hi guys, and you're locked into another episode of Shin and Mummy's Lips Talk. So, I'd like to start this episode off by saying, if my late grandma from Barbados was here and she was going to ask me,
Shana, what are you going to do on your episode today?
I'd say, Grandma, I'm thinking about doing Promiscuous. She'd say,
Oh, really? You want to talk about this body, sleeping with that body and sleeping with everybody?
I'd be like, yeah, Grandma, I feel like we need to touch on that. I think it's very important that we sit down and have a conversation about
people being a bit too free with it.
And I think that she definitely would be intrigued to see my view on this, as the conversations that we used to have, to say that she was of the older generation is phenomenal. So,
Grandma, this one is for you. In the sense of, I know that you would find this extremely entertaining. So,
Promiscuous. You can be as free with it as you want. That's not for me, nor anybody else, to kind of get on you about. It's your things to
be slanging and hanging wherever you want to slang and hang, okay?
However, I want to give you a new perspective. A perspective of, if you believe you are more than a physical body and you have an etheric body, which is an essence within you that is eternal, I want you to think, if that is true, you leaving yourself open to energies that you have not necessarily asked for, is that something that you want to be experiencing? Bearing in mind, when I break down to you my idea of it, you might think I'm a bit
crazy.
But at the same time, I do feel like it's an idea that you can kind of look into and see what you think once you have been opened to these different perspectives of it. There's the idea
that your body is your temple.
Now, this temple I speak of, imagine a blue lagoon. And if you've never seen a blue lagoon, I would encourage you to go and have a look, because believe me, the picture in itself is breathtaking, and it just to look at, you just feel a sense of comfort and happiness, because you just looking at it, they just feel like there's no worries there. You feel like
Hakuna Matata.
Now,
a blue lagoon is very elegant, breathtaking in itself, and it's just a pleasure to look at and to be in or to be around. And then you also have the idea
of a swamp.
Swamps are not good to look at, definitely not good to be in, and
breathtaking in the wrong way.
If we was to have a scale, a blue lagoon or a swamp, everybody would be saying,
I want to be a blue lagoon.
Who wants to be a swamp? Who wants to look like these murky waters that you don't know what is in there? You do not know if you're going to come across a deadly alligator that's going to take your whole leg off. Wouldn't you like to think that you can see to the bottom of this lagoon and you just feel so calm and relaxed that you know that you're safe? Now, I'll come back to that in a little minute. Before I can go into that deeper, I need you to think of this analogy. Imagine somewhere in your house where you have a wall that is empty of shelves, of photos, or of anything on the wall at all. Imagine in the center of that wall, you have a beautiful picture of yourself.
And then I want you to envision a picture of either your current partner or your ex-partner, and whoever was the last one to be open and available to you, and put their picture there. And don't put the picture too close, because I'm going to now need you to imagine the number of people that person has been with, and then put an idea of a photo frame below that person with the amount of people you believe or think that that person is capable or you're knowing that they've slept with. And I'm going to need you to do that for all the people you've slept with, and then to think about all the people they've slept with. And once you've done that, I want you to then have the idea of the people that they had slept with have slept with too.
What I'm trying to say to you is, the list then becomes so long that you don't need a wall or two or three or a room. You need
The Great Wall of China at this point.
to actually visualize the amount of people that becomes a flooding ocean that has been with each person. And if your body is your true temple and you believe that you have this blue lagoon, which you can see at the bottom of it, and you know it's a serene, calm, breathtaking place in all the right ways, how are you going to tell me that when you get with someone and you allow them within your space, and I'm not just speaking to you ladies, I'm speaking to you guys too, if you allow people in that personal space of yours where you give them some of you that not everybody has or gets an opportunity to have, if you have not allowed this person to digest enough of you, and when I say that, enough of what is your do's, your don'ts, your wills, your won'ts, and all of your fine prints that you don't necessarily offer out on, a regular, because it's only certain people who need to know what your fine prints are. Now, I'm just thinking, when you need someone to digest you, which is to know enough about you, you have to give enough information for them to actually have something to settle within them.
So they know clear and precise what it is of them is expected from you and you of them. Because it's a two-way street, you need to be as respecting of their feelings and their do's and don'ts as they have to be of yours. Now, if you're letting
random people, strangers, acquaintances, just,
constantly upping your cookie jar or, allowing to take your personal energy from you,
by the time you get to the person that you're saying you want to be with forever, these cookies are clearly dwindled down to crumbs, and they're still crumbs at this point.
I know. I don't want to be offering up some stale cookies on a plate, trying to tell my forever man that this is all I have as offerings to bring to him.
Because I decided to allow the energy of certain people who have not given access to me, but now reside within my energetic field, because they came in as baggage with the person who I gave VIP tickets to, and they decided to bring a whole concert with them. And with them doing that, they have now brought a riot of people who
of energy that didn't want to necessarily be there with them, but it's something that they've collected over their time. And these rioters, they have no respect for your lagoon. They do not care about graffitiing everywhere.
They don't care about anything because it's not for them to care. They have just been taken along for the ride. So you have this temple that you were supposed to only allow access to the people who are respectful of your space are allowed to attend. And if this person has brought this group of people with them or energies with them, how are you going to make these energies leave? If you're not conscious of these energies being present, how are you going to get rid of them? And energy never dissipates, it just transfers. So you can transfer that energy in different ways. However, you need to be aware of it to be able to disperse it. So I would say, as much as it sounds
outlandish and crazy,
imagine if every person that you was with, you had a 7-year timer. From the moment you've been with them until 7 years has gone up, that every single person that you've been with and every single person that they've been with and all of the other people stay with you as energy for 7 years. automatically sleeping with one person that has slept with at least 7 people who, you know, have had other partners upon partners with those partners, I'm sure that's, you know, giving yourself a bit of eternity to live with those energies. And the reason why I say sentence is because
if you are on good behavior, which is recognizing that these energies do exist, so you need to clear it up somehow, then you can get rid of those types of ideas out of your space because you are aware of them. You can't get rid of things you're not aware of.
So I would say, even if I'm wrong, even if you don't believe me and you think that it's just crazy talk, I think that you should definitely look at the idea of, imagine if it was true. Imagine if you had to wait 7 years to remove the energy of that one person, let alone the people they've been with and the people that those people have been with. It becomes like, you know, an everlasting list that you can only put on the Great Wall of China. And that to me is
not a good look.
No, it's my body. I can do what I will with it. And if I feel a bit tutti frutti,
You're ready for the action and I'm ready to get involved with whoever, whenever and however, then good for you. But I'm telling you now, do not moan in any way, shape or form when certain things just seem to keep reoccurring. When you can't shift a certain feeling because you don't look into your own healing that needs to take place.
a lot of people remind me of a sprain. When I say sprain, you can sprain your ankle, your wrist, you can sprain anything. It only takes a few days with the correct treatment for that sprain to feel relief and you feel like you can go about your business and do what it is that you do. But a lot of people have actually got
broken bones. And when I say broken bones, I mean they are
fully damaged. They need some repair, and sometimes you might even need the repair time that a bone needs to heal. So instead of hopping on a few days later saying, yeah, that's fixed, I'm ready for the action, you need to take enough time to sit back, analyze the situation, put in place certain mechanisms that will make sure that this break that you endured is not to ever happen again, and to make sure that moving forward you've got your head in the right space and you know exactly what you want and how you're going to execute that. Now, once you've had that time in a break period, when you've broken something like a bone, there's a lot of things that you have to digest about yourself. So you know that the next time that you are fit and able to get out there and do what you want to do your bits, you know you're going to do it correctly. Because to end up in this situation again just seems unpleasant and it seems long. So there's a lot of people operating on sprains.
But they're broken.
So they're not willing to give it the time that it needs to heal, for you to be in the right place, for it to have, repaired itself enough for the healing to have made a difference to the foundation in which you have to move forward with those particular parts of you. Now, I get it. You're attracted to who you're attracted to and you want who you want. But imagine being with someone and once you've given them that everything, because there's kind of not much more you can...
There is much more, but like once you've been with someone that has had all of that
of you, and just imagine them not being very respectful of that. They find ways to talk to you anyhow, or they don't respect things about you that's in your fine print because you didn't give them enough information to digest about you. Imagine that. Imagine somebody taking the absolute utter mick after you've given them all of that. How would that make you feel? If you've ever felt that before, I would believe it to be a very low place to resonate in, because you'd be like,
it's everything I've done with you, for you, and this is how you're going to treat me?
So I would say to you, take it into consideration when you're with these people. Not everybody should be allowed into the lagoon when they're leaving these
rioting graffiti artists doing as they please and, you know, taking a bath in your lagoon and just leaving it in more of a swamp-like manner than you intended for your own space. So if you are happy to allow people to do as they please, energy-wise, with you, physically and mentally with you, that's all on you. Now, if you genuinely care about you and the transfer of energy and how to shift certain energies from yourself, I would definitely say, look about just having the idea of, I've recognised that that idea is quite disturbing to think of how many picture frames would be on the wall, the Great Wall of China, if I was to break it down. Because some people, you're not even aware of how many people they've been with, so you would not even have a clue as to how many other people they've been with. So it's important for us to really care about if being promiscuous is actually a place of liberation or a place of
imprisonment. Because seriously, you're allowing one person to come into this blessed place, and this person without much knowledge has come with all of the drama. Ladies and gents, I would say to you, take the idea and think to yourself, I'm going to shift all of this unwanted energy from myself by just being aware that it's possible that I have collected energy unknowingly and I don't want it. So I release this energy of these unwanted rioters, and I release them back to whence they came. If you do that, at least you're giving this situation a channel for it to allow that energy to transfer to a better place. You're releasing that energy. As much as it sounds outlandish and crazy, how many times have you heard a friend or just somebody you know
say, do you know what? I slept with this person and then all of a sudden they've decided to come to me with this whole, yeah, it's not you, it's me, and all of that talk there. Imagine giving someone your all and hearing they don't really want to be around you like that because it's not you, it's them. But they've taken some of you, left some of them, and left you.
I don't know, guys. You probably want to take a minute to mull that over in your head and see how you feel about it. But it's not somewhere I'd really like to be. I would like to consider myself as a lovely blue lagoon, where people, when they see your sight, they're just like
breathtaking. Instead of sitting there in utter despair, waiting for the moments to pass, this swamp.
Figure out what you want to be, people. Because if you fell out with somebody that you have been intimate with, and
now you're seeing a different spectrum of the rainbow, their true dull colours have come out, would you not be a bit mad at yourself that at one point you did see this person as a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Guys, there's some tricky times. It's either you believe that you're just physical and you're here once to have a good time. That's great if that's what you genuinely believe. But if you believe that there is a lot more to you than just that, then believe
there's more to transferring of energy that you may not necessarily be aware of now. But start to look into those things. Start to see what actually resonates with you when you hear people saying, yeah, I'm going on the slut walk with whoever, yeah, and you're a dirty stop-out.
Or a liberties, as I want to call it.
If that is your true resonance and that's where you feel most comfortable, I could never tell you about the picture frames on the wall and you feel uncomfortable. I could never tell you that there's either a blue lagoon or a swamp, because it would be disinteresting to you, because you feel how you feel and you're happy to be where you are. However, if you want to be a bit more than just physical, clear up your spiritual, clear up your mental. Think to yourself, I am more than this. I expect more, I deserve more, and I demand more. And if anybody around you is not willing to give you that, I wouldn't tell you to stand for that. I would not tell anyone to stand for that. If you have children and you're raising little kings and queens, how on earth are we going to do that with them seeing all of these off-key behaviours as being liberating and free? Do you want your child to just be liberated and free from the moment that they're able to liberate themselves? Or would you like to think that they have got a firm head on their shoulders, they are precise with their actions and their thoughts about how it is that they want to navigate? Would you not like to think that that's the case? That they don't have to go through a number of partners before they actually hit the jackpot? Because you've taught them enough skills for them to look for the right one and to sieve through all of the sand to get whatever diamond that's in all of that rough. I would like to think that that's what I'm raising. Because if we're not working towards that, what are we working towards?
Just telling people to be careful of sexually transmitted diseases. Is that all that the future generation have to look forward to?
Making sure that they have the right protection to keep themselves sexually healthy. Listen, the future needs to know there's more to us than our sexual liberties. We are more than that. We are better than that. We are stronger than that.
Being sexually hyperactive and popping it on a handstand and slinging it and flinging it wherever you want to do it, it's all fun and games until you realise that that's all that people see you for, and that's how seriously somebody takes you up until the point where that's all you're good for. Be mindful of that.
You don't want to find yourself in a predicament where you're looking at yourself and thinking,
why is this always happening to me? Why can I never just find that one relationship and just keep on track?
why can I never find that one person that just makes me feel excited to stay with them and be with them through thick and thin? We can make it. Why do I always just find myself having to repeat the process of allowing access to just random people? When people are doing these things, they are solely thinking about themselves. And that's fine to a degree. However,
How is good practices taught? It's taught by people actually looking at somebody's resume, reading someone's fine print, and being accepting of these two factors.
that is what somebody who is truly grown and truly knows what it is that they are and what it is they want to do with themselves. They'd be involved in actually making good decisions. And you can only make a good decision on what it is that you have available to you at that moment. Wouldn't you like to think from decision to decision, you're always making the right choice and finding yourself in just the right place at the right time? Because if you can move your mind from thinking just from the physical aspect to more of a spiritual aspect of yourself, you'll start to think to yourself,
Where do you want to be? What do you actually want to achieve with this physical and spiritual together as a teamwork, as a bond that's going to always put you in the right place at the right time? Because if you work on that bond more than working on any other bond, everyone and everything else will come into your path as being useful and well received.
I can't stub my toe nowadays without thinking something was going to happen, so I've been delayed. And now I'm back on my true path to be in my right timing. Before, I used to stub my toe and be on that for a while.
Why?
And the more you ask why, instead of just accepting, the toe has been stubbed. The more you give it attention, the longer the pain will stick around. And if you give that pain less attention and pay more attention to what it is that you're going to be doing from that moment moving forward, I promise you, concentrate on the right things and you will definitely find yourself in the right place.
If you was thinking, what on earth is this crystal doing? This crystal is to absorb all of the unwanted, unnecessary, and irritating energies that may be around, just so we can clear up some distortion and be right on track.
And getting what we need out of life.
because getting what we need out of life is definitely important. So stay out of the swamps and be looking for your harmonious blue lagoons. Believe me, people, they're out there. And never think that a swamp cannot be reformed, because they can always go back to what they originated from. Everything just needs a
Clean up, clean up, clean up every day, me clean. As me wake, me clean.
Just give yourself a clean up. Even if you got a blue lagoon, everything can always do with a little extra clean.
If you haven't looked into why on earth you are feeling so willing to give it willy-nilly, then that's the oversight in itself. If you don't know why you're wanting to just be free with it and not only let VIP access to the best of the best, the ones that deserve it, do you not think that you're going to end up in a situation where you are going to be able to get violated?
If you're not looking at those situations as being stuff that you need to monitor or to take heed to, I'm concerned. We all have to think. It's nice to enjoy ourselves and be having fun, but what's it at the expense of? What has to take the brunt of your fun?
Think about that. And when you're thinking about that, think about if you want somebody to leave their baggage with you. Does that sound fair? Someone decides to take you on a plane and they have decided to go and get
A jet. Just for you guys to fly out to somewhere luxurious, somewhere exotic, and just for you guys. And on their arrival, as you're standing there,
waiting to go on this jet. And then they see, not only do you have your bags packed, but all of these hundreds of people behind you wanting to get on board as well. And is this person going to be polite and say, excuse me, I've only invited you, this is what this jet was for? Or are they going to feel obligated to now rent out a 747 to allow you and all the passengers that have decided to come with you? That to me is not a trick question. You're going to have to drop that one like a bad habit. Literally, you do not want those type of people in your life. That is a lot. So, do you want a jet ride for a couple's trip? Or would you like to rent a 747 with the economy? Because no one could afford to do the first class. Figure it out.
it's just food for thought. I'm not trying to tell you that you need to agree with me, and I'm not trying to tell you that I'm right. I'm just trying to say it's a different perspective that if you've never thought of before, you should think of, just to see what resonates with you and what conclusions you come up with. But don't let nobody take all your cookies from the jar, and don't leave your forever person with stale crumbs. That is my advice to you, and keep on searching for the person that you truly want to be. And when you find them, enjoy it. Until next time, guys, I'm out.